Hello and thank you for joining me. I'm Heather Forgan of stampwithnellie.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in the UK. I have to admit I am kind of late to the party with this whole alcohol blending background thing. I did try it one time before, but the rubbing alcohol that I had wasn't a high enough percentage, so my vellum just curled up. So unless you've been living under a rock, you may well already have seen tutorials for this, and I just thought I would do a slight variation on it for a kind of autumnal card, just to give you a little bit more inspiration. So I've used vellum, but as well as adding my Stampin Blends to it and then adding alcohol to bleed the colours together, I've also embossed mine. Now, I have no idea whether you'll be able to actually see that or not, but there is some little bits of stitching actually on my vellum because I used this absolutely fabulous stitched greenery die. Now, I did do a piece of vellum previously and then tried the dye on it, but I really couldn't see it very well at all, and what I thought would be better is to actually do the stitching on the vellum first, and then it might encourage some of the colour to pool into the stitched areas, and it kind of has, if you can see that bit there. So it's just adding an extra technique to this fun technique already. I've used the dies from, what are they called? Stitch leaf dies, and I have also used a sentiment from the coordinating stamp set, which is Love of Leaves, this one here. So I've just used that little hello greeting. So I'm going to make another one, going to make it slightly differently. I've already cut a larger piece of vellum and I've done the stitched die on it already. So this is the top as I put it through, and so this side actually has a bit more texture, so I'm going to try and do it on this side this time. I had it sitting underneath this block because when I ran it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine with the stitched greenery die, it really curled up, so I've tried to flatten it out a little bit. So I'm also going to change the colours. I'm going to swap out the dark Calypso Coral that I used and bring in dark Cherry Cobbler instead. So as I say, you may well have already, I was going to do the other side, didn't I? Oh, no harm done. So yes, as I said, you've probably already seen tutorials for this where you add colour with your Stampin' Blends, which are alcohol markers, to your piece of vellum. And I did see my friend Janice of Jazzle Dazzle Crafts had actually done it on some acetate recently as well, so that's an alternative. You could go over to Janice's YouTube tutorials, Jazzle Dazzle Crafts, and check that out if you fancy something a little bit different. So I'm just adding splodges fairly randomly, and this is soft suede. That was pumpkin pie and the green is dark shaded spruce. So I'm using the darker ones because obviously your alcohol will dilute the ink and take the colour down. So if you started with the light one, you probably wouldn't get very much colour left over. So have a little bit more green in there, I think. Turn those bits up. Definitely more red. I don't know what I've done to the tip of this, so I think this one will probably be relegated to this kind of technique. There we are. So, oops, put the lids back on properly, Heather. Right, so I've got all my colours pretty much covering all of the vellum. I have a little egg cup here with some 99% alcohol, isopropyl alcohol. I'm just using an old paintbrush, and I'm going to start with the green and just dabbing that alcohol on there. The more you put on, the more it will run around, do interesting things, but the longer it will take to dry. Just, as I say, dabbing that on. Done my greens. Do come in and do some red. Okay, so that is pretty wet now. You can just simply set it aside to dry. You could use a straw and blow some of the colours around a bit more. Or you can actually speed up the process with a heat tool. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be back with you in just a moment. This piece is now dry thanks to my heat gun, and now I can't decide which side I want to use. If you thought that, say, perhaps bits like that, there's really not enough colour there, you can come back in, add some more. And then just do the same again with your alcohol. Maybe not put quite so much on so that you still get some of the colour left over. Give it another quick blast to dry it. The step that I thought made such a big difference was actually just to flick some of that alcohol over randomly, and it kind of leaves little dots around, but again it bleeds out the colour. Quite like that effect. A little bit more, I think. Maybe some larger spots. But I do think you can see the stitching on this one better than the other ones that I did. So that was having the stitching raised on the side of the eye colour on it. Okay, so what I'll try and do is bring in a cleaner piece so that you can actually see the colours shining through there a bit better. Now, on this one, I just did one leaf on a small panel. This one I have decided I am going to put 2 leaves on this. So I kind of just want to have a play about. I want to make sure I get a mix of the colours. Yeah, I think around about there might be quite good. So this is the panel that I'm going to cut from. And I've got room for 2 leaves. Again, I want to make sure I've got different colours. That's all a lot red there, so probably closer to there. Just going to cut those from that panel. Bear with me a moment. I've got these 2 leaves. I can try and think of something to do with them. And bring this back in. Just check it looks completely dry again. And then that is going to go down to that way. I think I had it that way. Yep, that way I think. And then onto my card base. Absolutely love it. Okay, so just going to use my wet glue to add to this piece. Try and put a little bit in there. Don't want it to squeeze out, but just a little. And I'll go around the edge. So just layering that on. Again, I can bring that block in to just add some pressure to it. Like that. And then I can add glue to where the white bit is again. I'm not going to have any glue showing through. And pop that on my card base. Now I think I am going to stamp a greeting. Let's see what we've got. We've got I thought of you today. I think I'll go with that. I thought of you today. Got a little scrap here. Add that to a block, and I think I'll go cherry cobbler again. Such a, oops, grabbed a bit of ribbon there at the same time. Cherry cobbler. Just pop that in the corner. There we go. Thought of you today, and let me just chop that down. Happy with that. I think I need something to make that stand out a bit more. So this is some cherry cobbler ribbon. Did that? No, I don't want to distract too much from that. I think I just want a little bit of cherry cobbler card. That'll do. Not perfect. Need to take a tiny little bit off that edge, I think. That's better. A messy mat. And yeah, I might put it up there actually. Or down there. Ah, decisions, decisions. I really don't want to cover up too much. I'll put it there. On with some dimensionals, just a couple. Let's get rid of that. So we've got this one, much lighter tones to it, with the Calypso Coral on there, and just the little hello there. And this one, I thought of you today, and really much brighter and bolder colours on that one. Which one do you prefer? Please leave me a comment in the section below. Let me know. If you're new to my channel, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and click on that bell so you get notified of my next video. Until then, take care. Bye bye.